Hi and welcome to the Xtreme 4-Wheel Drive Park for the 4-Wheel Drive National Championships. Round 2 of the series, right here at the Xtreme 4-Wheel Drive Park, north of Auckland. Watch the action as competitors from all around New Zealand, 71 trucks, compete over 32 different courses during this competition today. The competitors compete in vehicles ranging from basically production modified vehicles right through to the hand-built supermods. Anything goes, except for the tyre size. There are some controls, but not too many, and the lower classes, Class A and B, are production modified cars with open differentials and no special traction aids. Class C and D are the supermods, that's where anything goes. C class is 4-cylinder, D class is 5-cylinder plus. Then we have the E and F class, which are super production modifieds. They are allowed independent brakes at one end or other of the vehicle, but no other traction aids. So these vehicles range in shapes and sizes from anything that you can imagine. What is in common for all of the competitors is limits on tyre size, so that keeps it reasonably even. Nobody can dig holes so deep that the others can't get through. And of course the marshalling on the day is designed to give a fair competition for all people, and you'll see the vehicles starting between two blue pegs, and on most of the hazards here today they're graded, so the further they get through the lower their penalty score. A big fat 0 on the scorecard is what they all like to see at the end of each track. So you'll watch them as they progress through the course as quickly and carefully as they can so that they don't knock any pegs down. Knock the peg down, they're out. But see the pegs, you'll see the grading marks, and the further up the course they go, the lower the grading mark. So they've got to get their front wheel past the grading mark to achieve that score as a minimum. The blue pegs at the top, of course, like I said, the big fat 0. So let's look at the action now as we get on to track 1. We're looking at Ryan Bold as he heads down into the mucky part. Oh, he's over the yellow peg. That's all over for Ryan. Once you hit the peg, you're out. Now we've got Martin Walton with Philip on the brakes. You can see him hanging onto the brake as they start off on the siding, trying to stay away from the yellow pegs on the left. Holding it up, holding it up. Can he keep it up out of those yellow pegs? It's really steep. Look at that. And look where he's got to go, into the swamp. Hang on to your hat. Down he comes. Down he, oh, he's still holding it up on the bank. How on earth can you do that? Then on the brakes he'll go now. No, he's still holding it up there. That's amazing stuff. Now down into the swampy muck and up the steps. You can hear that Commodore V6 screaming its lungs out as he bounces up the hill and through the blue pegs. Then of course we've got Norm Hudson. Can Norm do it? He's a well-seasoned competitor as our Norm, and look at those brakes go. Man, he should get a medal for pulling on the brakes. But he stopped the truck. Now we're going to travel up the hill with the defending National 4-Wheel Drive champion Martin Walton and Philip in the crew seat. This should be a cakewalk for them. So I can tell you that they're running the supercharged V6 Commodore in the special that was built by Brian Howard in Wellington. And what an awesome machine as it waltzes up the hill. Coming up around by the fence line. Got to work your way across there carefully so you don't slide off. And then they've got to descend back to the blue start pegs. Cruisy, a little bit of a hand on the brake there from Philip as they are coming around and heading back down the hill. Of course, these guys are running the general tyre, the general grabber from the United States. A lot of the guys are running Kumo still, which was the favoured tyre for many, many years, but they've stopped making them now, so the guys are looking around for alternatives, and there they go, through the blue pegs quite comfortably. Now looking at track number 3, and here's Russell Smith in his home-built special. He's creeping around that corner real carefully because there's a couple of rollers been had there today. He's got to get tight against that tree and stay up there. He's managed to do that all right, so how's he going to go when he gets out in the mud? He's struggling. He's got the hammer down, she's smoking a bit, and he's still hammering it as he heads up onto the steps. Oh, mate, it's starting to bounce. Bouncing trucks break axles, but he's managed to keep it together as he heads up to the fence. And here comes a standard Suzuki Vitara. Mate, have you ever seen something like that? Take it off the street and go rallying. Here's Norm Hudson in the Toyota Powered Special. He's a seasoned campaigner and he gets it going. He's got his foot to the floor as he heads up the steps. He's starting to bounce as well, folks. No, he's made it. He's made it successfully to the top. And then, of course, we've got Baldy here again from the Valley 4-Wheel Drive Club. He's got his crew on the brakes there as they come out of the mud easily and head to the fence line. That's a smoother run this time. Yeah, well under control. Just backing down off the hill there now. Take it easy, got to come back off without rolling over. And this time we're reining, we're in the driver's seat with Martin Walton. There you can see how gooey that muck is as he gets around the tree. Got to keep away from the red and yellow pegs on each side of the track as he heads up the hill. Yeah, look at that, mate. It's a cakewalk on that air suspension. Now we're heading on to track 4. Now this is a time section, so it's a little bit different to the other hazards we've been looking at so far. They've got to get round the course as quickly as they can, and there goes Norm giving it death in the C-Class Toyota Powered Special. You've got to be careful not to knock any pegs down, of course, but other than that, start in the garage, finish in the garage, get round the track as fast as you can. Here goes Martin Loose Goose. Yeah, I reckon he should be called Mad Max, as Martin Walton feeds at the gas, heading through the figure of 8 time section. Now, just like a jet sprinter, Philip's giving them directions. Maybe you can't see too well. A bit of mud in your eye, I reckon, over the siding. Look at this, got to be careful here. Yeah, holds it together, hooks on the left brake, and we're heading up the track towards the finish. Got to stop in between the blue pegs before that stopwatch will stop. No, he's away on second lap, so he's still got to keep it together for a whole lap yet. Round the right-hander. And heading off. Crowd looking like they're pretty relaxed there. I wouldn't be, not with him flying around the course like that. Over the edge we go again. Going to grab the left-hand brake without tipping the truck upside down, and back to the finish line this time. Up over the rise and hard on the brakes.
Course is clear.
Oh, and we've got Graham Yukich on the journey. There's a supercharged Toyota Powered Special as well, and he feeds at the gas. It's got rear wheel steer. See that as he hooked around the tight one there? And now he's heading down towards the bottom end of the course, and that little bit of a sidling. Got to be a bit careful there, but Graham's okay. Oh, he's not okay. He's upside down. God help us all. Hey, service it now. Here we go. Watch this one more time. Oh, mate, what a headache. Never mind, he won't service it. He'll just get it back on his wheels, I reckon. So let's see what happens here. Plenty helpers come round there, pretty keen to get it back on its wheels to get Graham back on the journey. But he's abandoned the run. He's out of the car, and he's just going to have a look now.
I went round the corner a bit faster. I had a look to see what was there, but when you get down there, you sort of go a little bit faster than you think you should, and that's what happens. But hopefully it's not too much trouble. We'll just fix things under here, and we'll be back away again.
Now we're into track number 5, and that's a long bog followed by a nasty hill climb. And here comes Wayne and Amy Nicole all the way from Christchurch as they get that nice Toyota looking special on its way through the bog without a problem, taking off the pegs. And look at this, they're going to head straight up the hill and out through the blue pegs for an absolute big fat 0. Cool bananas, as we've got Paul Simmons coming with Brendan in the crew seat, 3.5 litre Rover powered Jeep, but all for nothing. They're stuck big time, and here we've got Neil Knudsen coming, and he's going for it in the 3.5 litre Rover engine special. He's got his pedal as hard down as he can get it. It looks like it's sinking in the mud to me. Yeah, it's all over for him. And here's an FJ40. Wow, is it going? It's got a 350 Chev, and that's Wayne, and he's really hammering it as he gets through the bog, but the big cruiser's just too heavy. And here come Angeline Mead from the Windy City, and she's flying plenty of mud. She's a lady with an attitude, and she gets on in there, and she's trying to keep it off the yellow. But yeah, come on, turn right, turn right. Yeah, she's still got it going, and it's still going forward. Hang in there. Keep working that steering. See that? Left and right, but it's all over. Oh. Yeah, on the end of the tractor.
We went up the wrong side of the course. Yeah, and it just got bogged in.
Mud was a bit deep.
Yeah.
Hey mate, which is the right side of the course? Maybe Dave Toohey knows as he gets the Subaru Powered Special straight over red peg. That's his lot, mate. He's out of the contest on track number 5. Yeah, well, here's another guy with attitude. We've got Steve Liddell and Brownie from Counties Manukau, and they're giving it what for as they're straight up the hill and through the blue pegs, just like it was Sunday, and it is again. And there's Martin and Phillip having a bit of a recce because, like I said, which side of the course should you drive? Well, we're going to ride with them now as they get prepared to head off into the long bog. Remember, yellow pegs on the left, red pegs on the right. You're not allowed to knock them down, and you've got to keep moving. Well, moving is what they're doing. Look at that. Powering straight through. Well, they're slowing down. Is this going to get him? Is the national champ going to be done? Not in your belly. Look at that. He's got it going again, and he's heading to the sky. Hang on, everybody. And we're over the top and through the blue pegs. Yeah, I reckon.
Just like that. Yeah. Good morning. Thank you very much.
Here we go on track number 6, and of course it's a siding, and you've got to try and avoid flattening the yellow pegs on the left-hand side of the vehicle as you slither down the slope. We've had a little bit of rain, so it's a bit more interesting for Ray Mountford as he comes down there. You're allowed to get down on the track like that, and he's on his way up through the blue pegs. And we've got Andrew Graham. He's from up north, Whangarei, and here he comes in the Cowley Hire Special, brand new truck for this year. Holding it beautifully on the line, but hey, whoop! He can't get it out of there any more than that. He's going to be over. Here's Brendan James, one of our top contenders in C-Class. He's just walking around as he squirms the backside and up over the bank and walks it through the pegs. Boy, is he good. Nothing to do for the tractor driver yet, huh? And here comes Baldy. How's he going to manage it on the Cymex tiles? Not too many guys running Cymexes as he tries to hold it up. Well, he's holding it up all right. He's on his side. Oh, mate, time to do an oil change. Here we go. Look at it again slowly. The crew's putting his head down because he pulled the brake too hard, I reckon. And up they go. And over they go. So, not too good, but it'll be back on its wheels. And of course, we inspect the cage to make sure that it's not damaged. That's the job of the steward, Skid or Keith.
It was going to go, so I tried to give it a shoeful and try and get it back on its wheels, but
You all right?
didn't work. Oh well, it happens.
Yeah, pretty safety conscious, but does somebody tell that guy to let go of the cage? And here we go into track 7. It's an uphill and round the top and back down real steep. And they've got to have a bit of a nut out as to where they're going to drive here. And here goes Simon Donovan heading up first in the cruiser. Hard on the brakes, trying to get it to come round. Oh, she's sledging big time, but the nose is slowly coming round. It's not a cruiser, it's a Jeep, isn't it? He'll kill me for saying it's a cruiser. Simon's a good guy, and he's been competing again for the first time for a long time as he heads up the hill, keeping it all together. Yeah, right up to the top. Then we've got, of course, number 88, that's Gary Hawken, and he's travelling in F-Class. I think that we're now looking at the Range Rover of Brian Howard. That's a bog standard Range Rover with a 3.9, and boy, has he got that close to the ground. So would I if I was him. Stu McMillan, of course, he's from South Waikato in the Chev 350 pound cruiser. Yeah, bit of a hop and a bump, and down goes the red peg. That's all over for Stu. Well in the air, he's going to celebrate anyhow because he doesn't know he's put the red peg down yet. Now he knows. Now we're travelling on board with Martin and Phillip as we head up the first part of Has number 7. Keep away from that yellow peg. A little bit of right-hand brake going down from Phillip. And across the track and back up the hill. Over the big lumps. Man, there's some big lumps there. And that's what's been stopping those trucks that are not as capable as the C and D class trucks, especially that of Martin and Phillip. Up round the top. No problem at all. Hard on the brakes. And, mate, we're hanging in the straps now as we look straight down the hill. Well, what goes up must come down. And down's what we're doing now. Hey, he gets it round the corner through the blue pegs without any worries there. That'll be another fat 0 on the score sheet, and that's what makes everybody happy. The person with the lowest score wins round here. Now we've got Ian Smith, and Ian's from Mount Egmont, down there where the snow's on top of the cone, as he works his way round with a little bit of right-hand brake. Yeah, you can hear that Toyota engine, it's a 4AGE, but it's all over. Didn't manage to get it up there, huh? Never mind, he gave it his best. And Steve Liddell's not a man with a lot of fear. Brownie's quite convinced that Steve's trying to kill him, but he's going there for the ride anyhow. He wouldn't miss this for anything as he works the brakes. up through the first part of the course, up the hill all right. Yeah, so he got to the top, not a problem. And then of course we've got the Phil Cameron truck. That's the Ford powered engine. Yeah, great little truck. Got a lot of Land Cruiser gear in it. He's having a little bit of trouble keeping it in the course though, as they work on the brakes. That's Steve working the brakes here as they get it up the hill. Bit messy, but hey, take everyone you win. The red wheel steer helps them get round the top, and oh my God, look at that. Here's Baldy about to come down the end of Haz number 7, and down it comes. Woo! Yeah, I reckon you should stop there. You're going to be upside down the creek, man. Les Unkovich. Of course, Les is from County, South Auckland, and he's driving the turbocharged Toyota powered special, based on a Suzuki, of course, like lots of these vehicles are. As he gets a little bit of wheel spin, but whoops, well, he was keeping it going, but he dropped it in the hole. What are the marshals going to do? They're letting him continue. He's a bit lucky there, as he gets it to boogie up over the top. Now straight down the other side. And he does that all right, so that's cool. He moves out through the blue pegs. That's the big fat zero again. So that's Les. He's a happy chappy. A little bit of discussion going on with the marshal.
I think that's right. 20. Sorry.
20 sounds better than 80.
Here we go on to track 8, and track 8 is a dogleg hill climb, and first away from the blocks is Dave Tui. And the brand new Subaru powered truck for this year as you go past the Kumo signs there, most of them running on Kumo tyres still, like I said before, and here we go. Round the yellow, then you got to line it up and get up the steps. Wow, that looked like a pause to me, so we'll see what happens with the judges on that one. And of course the marshals have the final say on the day as he goes bunny hopping out through the blue pegs. And watch it again. Hey, we've got some serious ear under those wheels. Front, back, front, back. I hope you hadn't been drinking milk, mate, because you've one hell of a milkshake by now. Hey, and here's one we haven't seen for a bit, but it's a smart-looking wagon as he heads on up the hill there. Pretty casual in his approach. He's got to be good. Yeah? Well, we'll see. No! And takes out the red peg and gets back off the hill while he's still got it up the right way. And here comes Brian Howard from Wellington in the big Range Rover. Hey, I'd have my butt that close to the ground if I was driving a Range Rover. Yeah, I didn't quite get it around the top corner. And yeah, there goes Jeep. He's crewing with Chase Rodder in the awesome special. Of course, Chase was the national champ in 2000-2001, and he's got it together. Riding on board again with Martin as we head up the first part of this track around past the Kumo signs. Yeah, not a problem. Bit of a left hook. And just watch how smoothly the air suspension takes this truck up over the hill. Yeah, great view of the sky, don't you reckon? Yep, clean through the blue pegs for another zero. Whoop, we're driving a Mitsubishi Pajero and we've got our pedal to the metal as we head it up towards the Kumo signs, gently round the corner, and then we're going to nail it up the hill. Is it going to work? A lot of bounce going down. Got the bounce right though, and that's a zero for the Pajero. Now, here comes Bruce McGovern. And Bruce is taking it easy up there. He's having a cool ride. No problems there. Hamish, of course, is driving the Jeep. And that's a 1300 Suzuki powered special. Keep it tidy, Hamish. Yep, that's the go. Air struts. Really interesting truck, that one. Here comes Ash Major in the 350 Chevy powered Griff J40. Pretty heavy truck, but man, he's got plenty of horsepower in there, so he's got to keep it on going up the hill there. He's got Heather on the brakes. There she goes, just very gently giving it a hook around there as they work their way up towards the blue pegs. Now, with a big heavy cruiser, of course, you can't get too much power down because you'll bounce and break the gear. There he goes. Nice little waltz from Ash and Heather as they head out through the blue pegs for a zero. Ray Mountford hooking it around the first corner there. Plenty of left-hand brake on the Rover Powered Special as they head up towards the blue pegs. Got to be careful again, not too much bounce. See the coilover's working pretty nicely in there with a hydraulic steering in between. And track number 9, we've got a sidling here. You've got to keep it up on the side without tipping it over. And here comes John Cochrane in a C-Class Special. And he's got the crew there working the brakes quite steadily as they get down the first part of the course. That didn't look too bad, but they're slowed right down now as they head over onto the left hook there. See, they just got to, oh mate, hang on to your hat. How nice was that as they drifted it sideways on the Cymex tyres and out through the blue pegs. Mate, it's good to have your butt close to the ground. And these guys would like to have something a bit lower to the ground too, I reckon, as they come up around the first part of the course all right. Plenty of confidence there, but mate, they've got to be careful now. Woo! Yeah, that's airtime. Hey, the Black Dog will be taking a fancy to that one as Stu McMillan just works his way through there and runs over the blue peg. Not too bad an effort for a big heavy truck like that one. And here comes the F-Class truck of Ash and Heather Major again, and they're working quite steadily. Look how flat that back left tyre is. Heather's just pulling on the right-hand brake there, and she's just working away around the top. That's pretty nice, because you've got to keep the speed down when you've got a big heavy truck like this. Down they go, easing it down over the slope, because you've got to hook it round to the left. And mate, you need to keep your wheels on the ground here, because this is seriously steep on your side. There they go, sledging along. It works its way round, and we love dirty weekends too. Here we go, track 10, time section.
You know, the first one up, a little bit nervous, but once we get going, we'll be right.
You believe Norm is nervous? Not in your life. As Norm Hudson with Colin Piper, they get on the journey. A bit of a steep uphill at the beginning of this one. Remember in the time section, they've got to keep the red pegs on the right, yellow on the left. They are allowed to slide out of the course as long as they come back in again before the next set of pegs. So there you go, Norm's back in the starting gate, and we're right on the journey again with Derek Smythe from Wanganui. Up around the hill, you see the cantilever suspension on this one, really neat setup, goes really well. Down round the final corner and into the blue finish pegs. Yep, on the brakes. What do we got now? We've got a V6 Pajero by the look of that, and that's Steve Elliott. And he winds that V6 up and up round the top corner with a bit of tail hanging out there. Got to keep it under control. Bit steep coming down here over the edge. Ooh, yeah. And into the finishing gate he goes. Active 4x4. Lots of sponsors. Hey. There we go, on board with Martin and Phillip once more, cranking out supercharged Commodore V6. That's a VS Commodore, just the latest equipment in this truck as round the top we go. A little bit of brake, bit of slide. Got to be careful with the hydraulic steering. It's a bit harder to steer than our normal steering boxes you and I have in our cars, but it worked real well off-road in the tough stuff. There you go, into the blue pegs. Nicely stopped there. There we've got Greg Mason. There we go, Greg, and we've got Chris in the crew seat. They're doing a good job all the way from the Wairarapa as they keep it close to the ground. That's a low slung machine, that is. They'll be quite in place at Western Springs, I reckon, as they hook it around the corner, back into the start-finish gate. No problems at all, no stopping the watch. Here we go, on to track number 11. And first up, we've got Murray Kent. Look at those helmets, will you? Hey mate, something out of the Roman Empire, that's Murray. And of course he's got the special Susie built with the Holden V6 engine, very popular for this style of rallying. The 3.8 litre V6 revs nicely. He just slides the backside around there using the brakes. It's a D-class truck, and very, very carefully around the corner. Okay, and we've got Neville Dunton, and Neville's an old campaigner. Well, he's been around for a long time anyhow. And Michael's at the crew seat as they hold on those brakes and see how it's sledging around the corner. Does it work? You bet it does as he clears the blue pegs. Then we've got the heavy FJ40. See the coilovers on the front? Very popular for off-roading, the coilover shocks. And you see the general grabbers doing their best there, but you've got them in the air, they don't get a lot of grip, mate.
Oh, if you've got wheel brakes, keep the top ones on so there's no wheels turning.
Steve Thomason, all the way from Egmont, four-wheel drive. Now that's about how high I like to be off the ground. Nicely built machine, that one, and nice and snug towards the ground, and working his way around. Now that's actually a Mitsubishi Pajero Junior. Yeah, that was campaigned by another guy a couple of years ago, and it's still living on and doing a great job in E-Class. Out through the bead pegs he goes. Archie Griffin, of course, Archie and Linda's absolute legends in the four-wheel drive scene. They've hosted so many fun trials down on their own property in the central Waikato of New Zealand, and very popular people with everybody as they work their way out of the course. Enough's enough. Keep it the right way up, Archie, says Linda. And here we go. We've got Bruce McGregor. This is a little A-class truck, Suzuki Xtreme with a Holden 1300 engine. So he's just hooking it around there, hooking it around, keeping it up on the slope quite nicely. Here we go, here we go. Yeah, it's working well. Out through the blue pegs we go. Here's what it looks like from behind the wheel. So hang on to your brakes and your hat and just cruise on up around the course. Just makes it too easy, huh? Well, we'll see. There's plenty more to come yet. Yeah, you see the yellow pegs on the left. The marshal's coming over. That's Steve keeping an eye on proceedings there to make sure that they stay legal. Just because you're the top truck doesn't mean to say you can do what you like around here. You've got to stay in the course and get it right. Up past the 10 peg there, you see on the left-hand side, and just working your way out through the blue peg. So that's another successful mission for the Walton team. Here we go on track number 12, and track number 12 is a real nasty. It starts off with a sidling, down the dip, and then up through the trees if you're game. Here comes Lance blasting in the D-class truck. Plenty of gas round the wall of death. Hook it all back together again because you're straight off up through the trees. Oh mate, what a ride. Well, he didn't get up through the trees, did he? And here goes the Xtreme Mantle rover-powered cantilever suspension job. She's a real cracker on air suspension, and here it goes in the hands of Russell Delberg. Out round the wall of death, all right. Can't even get it up through the trees. Whoa, a huge hop there as it sits back on its back axle and then backs off the hill. Very wise indeed. Paul Taylor, of course, and Paul Taylor's from the Eastern Bay of Plenty. And here he goes, woo! Sliding the backside down. He tries to hold it up there to stay on the course, but he didn't make it, so he's out. Chase Rodder again. Awesome stuff here as he cruises around in the Evolution machine, round the wall of death, but can he make it up through the trees? There's not too many tracks up there yet, and woohoo! Up he goes! Here's the Cooksey's Transport-sponsored truck all the way from Otaki. And there he goes, giving it death, but mate, the pegs are down. He got up the top, but you've got to do it without knocking the pegs down. Stu McMillan, of course, game for anything is Stu, with Jessica in the crew seat. Whoa, was that some air under the front end or what? He managed to keep it all together on his wheels. They back off through the course. Now let's see what it looks like from behind the wheel. This is scary stuff. Up round the wall of death, all right. And now we're going to race for the sky. On the throttle. Give it what for. And mate, you don't even see which way's up until you reach the top. And there we go, out through the blue pegs, nice and tidy. Track number 13, unlucky for some. There's Graham and his son, Jason, in the supercharged Toyota-powered Suzuki Special with rear steer. Makes it really handy to get round the tight bits, but will it help him on the wall of death? They're not going round this wall of death, folks, they're climbing it. So here he goes, he lines it up and gives it a shootful. And oh, okay, let's get out of here, Jason. Yeah, okay, Dad. What do you got to say about that? There's Neil Turner from Whangarei in a smart-looking truck, that one. And Neil's a very capable driver as he lines it up for the hill. And he's got a bit of bounce and a hop going, so he has to back out of the gas and keep it up the right way. Well, we've seen Baldy turn it over already today, so how's he going to get on here? Well, it's all going to be revealed about right now as they hook on the brakes to bring it over the last couple of jumps and lumps before they line up that hill. Well, here we go. On our backs, give it some gas, and oh, yeah, stand it up on its back axle, but we've got to get out of here because that didn't work. And, of course, following Baldy is Alan Syme from Counties, and he's got the big V8-powered Nissan Patrol. Man, she's a handful. She's got heaps of horsepower, but it's a big truck. So here we go, up over the lumps and bumps, and whoa, he got caught. Well, I tell you what, at least it's still the right way up, so it can't be all bad as Russell Smith takes his turn up around the first part of this course and down into the hollow. Yeah, that's the go. Hook it round over the humps and bumps. And what can Russell do with this one? Well, we'll soon find out as he holds the brakes hard. That's the crew on the brakes. And independent brakes, of course, one brake on every wheel in the super modified trucks. And he points it to the sky. He's taking it a bit easy. Yeah, he's pretty keen on staying the right way up too. Yeah, it lifts the wheel, but he's okay. And he backs out of that one to keep himself safe. And of course, Storm and Norman will be next, but we're just having a bit of a look at the course to try and figure out which is the best way to approach this one. And here we go. Hang on to your hats. We'll just walk it up around here. Yeah, I think so, and just keep it all under control as we come over the humps. And the camera upholstery, will it be up the right way after this? Oh, yeah. Yep. Bit of a hump and a thump, but he kept it on its wheels. And this time, of course, we're riding once more with Martin and Phillip as they bring the beautifully prepared machine around the course with a supercharged VS Commodore engine and hooking it up over the humps. The air suspension doing a beautiful job, keeping clear of the red peg there. Now what happens here? You line it up square and nail it. That's what you do. Yeah. Here he goes. Whee! Whoa, look at that. Clean through the pegs. Roll away. What a ride back down. We better have a look at that again. Here it goes. Whoa, right up the top. Yep. And then hang on to your hat because we're going to have a really good ride back down the hill. Just about as good as the ride up there, I reckon. Once more in slow motion. Mate, there's some air under that. Right. Yeah. You need a big fan in there to clear the dust. And look at this ride back down the hill, folks. Oh, yeah. He's happy. Thumbs are up. So would I be. Everyone you say the right way up, you keep, eh? Oh, magic stuff. And here we've got, of course, Gary Hawken in the F-Class truck. Seriously tidy wagon. This as he puts his wheels right up in the air. Still got him up in the air. And he's over! He's upside down! What a bang and a crash that was. She's just a little bit bent now. Is that the dirt squirt? Yeah, well, it is now. Never mind, they're okay because they're wearing all the right gear. We've got Warren Day approaching the hill now. Here he comes. Wheels in the air. Whoa! He knows how to get back down the hill as well. Keeping it the right way up. A magnificent effort there. Here we go. We're really seriously concerned about this, and who wouldn't be? And of course, sharing Collins' concern is Ian Blackwood in the crew seat, and he's hanging on for the ride. And they put it as high as their gain, and then back it off the hill while it's still up the right way. Smart fellows, eh? I reckon. And then we've got the 328 truck, 326, did I say? And that's Greg Mason. Yeah, Greg and Chris all the way from the wire wrapper. Woo! Round they go, and over they go. Keep the door shut. Oh, it doesn't matter anyhow. We've got it the right way up again. Oh, mate, what a ride. So I don't know how long Chris is going to stay in there with Greg with treatment like that. But hey, I guess what's between brothers, eh? Blood's thick in the water, and there they go, doing it together, upside down and all the way back onto their wheels. That'll give the old 3.5 litre Rover a bit of a shake-up. Never mind, the fire extinguisher stayed in its spot and the water bottle didn't. Never mind, we'll get the water bottle back shortly. Everybody's okay. We've got Ian Smith from the Mount Egmont Club, and of course the little Suzuki powered engine, that's the 4AGE again. Well, here she goes, that's the Toyota power in the Suzuki, and wheels in the air, up we go, and over we go. Hey mate, is this what you're supposed to do here? How was that for a neat save? Just hit the gas at the right moment. Now watch this again, one more time. Up, over. And he's rolling down the hill, and watch this, when he hits the ground again, a little squirt on the gas. Mate, does he focus? You bet. Awesome job done there. Well, the crowd were pretty happy with that, and who wouldn't be, unless you happen to be in the crew seat, as Brendan James brings the C-Class truck there, and Brendan just makes that look pretty easy. I'm not too sure he actually got the front hub through the blue pegs, but man, that was close. Then, of course, we're looking at the wonderful independent cantilever setup on Derek Smythe's special as he heads around there, another 3.5 litre Rover V8 job, and back off the hill the right way up. He said, that'll do me, I'm happy. Well, that only leaves Warwick Delbrick. What a smart looking truck. Isn't that a cracker? Yeah. And the PDL electrical sponsored vehicle. And he's heading towards the hill. He's got the pedal down and up she goes. Woohoo! Well, I'm not too sure how you figure out whether he got his wheel past the peg or not. It was only 6 feet in the air. Here we go, one more time in slow-mo. Hey, up on our tail. There's only one way, and that's up. Awesome performance. Great stuff. Now, track number 14 must have been made, I think, and plotted by some evil person. This is so difficult. You've got to get up around the corners here and slide back into the ditch. Get up the ditch. Listen to the chat going on there between Martin and Philip. Good planning's everything as they head off onto the course. Yellow peg's on the left. Hook onto the brake. Get it up over the first bank. Keep that red peg clear on the right. Let it slip down into the gully. Don't tip on your side. Straddle the ditch. And try and keep it the right way up as you work like that. Look at those angles as you sit behind the driver's seat in this one, working your way up through hazard number 14. Oh. Yeah, well, they should be excited. That is one awesome drive, folks. Watch this again from the outside. There's holes in there that are big enough for you to stand in, and they'd still drive over without even knowing you're there. Here we go, working the brakes, working the brakes. Great teamwork, must have the teamwork. On the pump-up locker, back on the brakes. Keep it moving, don't let it stop, and out through the top on the blue pegs, and are we happy again? Like I said, you'd need to be. That's an awesome drive. Here we go, and we've got Terry DeGraw, and man, has this man got some experience at this game. And what a beautiful little truck as he works his way into the beginning of the hazard. He gets down into the ditch, and can he keep it going as he heads up there? Oh, mate, he makes it look far too easy. But he got caught just when it looked like he was going to clear it. He got hooked in one of those tomos, we call them. And that was it for Terry as Shane Mason lines up with Rebecca in the crew seat. You see Rebecca hanging on to the brake like it's the last thing in life. Well, I would too. You know, who's going to trust Shane as he gets stuck? Well, I never. They gave it their best shot, but mate, those holes are deep and it's sticky in there. Ray Racing in the E-Class Suzuki. He hooks it around the first part of the course there, stays clear of the yellow, back in the hole. Oh, we'll sing the air. He's in trouble, folks. He's in trouble. He can't get it out of there. And Graham Kingston. Now, this beast of a thing's got the V8 Lexus power. Mate, can it crack? Listen to that song of the V8 screaming its lungs out as he tries to get it going again. And it's just moving. Well, the marshal's going to let him away with that. Looks like they have. But it's not long before he finds one of those tomos, and it's all over for Graham and his good lady crewing with him today. Shannon Wellman from Thames Valley. We can just see him through the trees. He sticks the little beast on its side. Wow! That's not the way to have a Suzuki Jimny. They're supposed to stay on their wheels. It's a standard 1300cc engine in that one. And here's the team from Otaki. That's the Cooksey-sponsored beast, and he's having trouble there. He gives the peg a bit of a kick. Did he knock it down? Well, we can't see from here, but he's got himself to the end of the line there. He's stuck in the muck. And that's what happens when you're driving around here. And here's Colin Landy. He's giving it what for. Lets it slide in there. Yeah, Jan's on the Blackie's on the brakes today, and the V8 Rover doing its stuff. Yeah, keep it going. Pedal to the metal, and let's have an underbody inspection while we're on the job. And Warwick Delberg in the beautifully prepared PDL electrical car. This is running a 3.8 Holden as well, and look at the dance. Mate, don't you wish you could dance like that, but it's not good enough as he gets it hooked in the Tomo. Now we're looking at Ian Smith, and he's got the 4AGE in the Suzuki there, and of course John's hanging on to the brakes there, and they hook him back into the gully. Yeah, wheels in the air. Well, that's what these things do. But that's all over for Ian, of course, in the C-Class Suzuki. Now let's see what we can do with Phil Cameron and Steve Morley in the Jeep. Ford Power, give it what for, mate. Give it death. Yeah, we got around the first corner, into the ditch we go. Wheels in the air, just like everyone else. Now see if he can boogie up the hill. Well, he's getting it going. It's moving, and it's still going. Don't get out of the gas. Hang on. Poor old Steve's not sure which brake to pull as she settles on his side, and that's the end of that. And here comes Baldy. Well, we've seen Baldy already today. Very smartly prepared machine, and boy can he pedal it. So we've got Lane Jones hanging on to the brakes this time, and he looks pretty cool in there. He's relaxed, he knows what to do. He's got the hand on the pump-up locker. Well, that's just as well, because he needs all the grip he can get as he works his way up through the tow rows. It's still going. Hey, this is a great effort. He's dancing, he's bouncing, he's right up to the top, and he's just about out the top, and he's made it. That's a big fat 0 on the scorecard, and that's what they want to see. You'd think they'd be happy. I think they're still in shock. Let's have a look at that one more time. Here we go. All concentration and focus. Mate, we've got to get this right. Yeah, we've already tipped it over once today. Okay, so you see the concentration on the faces. Go for the brakes, yeah. Hold that one that's spinning. Yeah, that's the go. Pull on the pump-up locker. That keeps the front end driving. That's cool. Keep dancing, keep dancing. Ryan's got to keep it in the right spots because those big holes are just waiting to swallow him up.
Drive it. Right foot down.
Ha! So now we get the big smiles, and so we should too. Another Howard Engineering sponsored machine. Now track 15's got to be the driver's worst nightmare. We've got to go up the hill, round the top, back down over the worst steps you've ever seen in your life, and then hook it into the course and stay in the course and back up to the top a second time. It requires quite a lot of thought and effort, this one. So let's see how Dave and Jenny get on from Wanganui in the P76 powered Land Rover. They're on the way. We've got to try and keep the bounce under control and keep it going forward. You see the big general grabbers doing their job here, doing a great job of getting a grip on the ground, but not enough to power the Land Rover Special up the hill. Next up we've got Scott Ryan with Cherie from Mount Egmont and the Inframax sponsored special. Here we go. Toyota Celica power, and we're just a bit of a cautious approach initially. Like I say, too much bouncing is not going to work for you anyhow, and they back out of that reasonably early. Now, what can Kevin Dalgetty and Sharon Clark do in the D-Class truck? It's got a Rover V8, and they're just got a really fairly steady approach. They're getting organised there. Yep, they're on the journey. Yeah, front wheel hooked up in the air and just lost forward progress. You see that back wheel get hooked on the step. Here comes Donald Bayer in the really nicely presented FJ40 from the Norwest Club in Auckland. Oh mate, no, that's never going to work like that. Starts to lose the front. Of course, they're very front heavy, the big FJ40, but Phil Collins from Valley 4-wheel drive, he just makes a cakewalk of that. Hey, how smooth was that? Good hook on the left-hand brake, but he's lost his bottle. Not going to come down the hill. And of course, Ray Morris and Karen in the 350 Chevy powered FJ40, they've given it a good hiding and they've got up the hill all right. Yeah, they're making it. Yeah, well, I might too. Just take out the rear peg, get slightly less in the way of penalty points. And we'll see what Russell Dalberg can do in the X-2001 Championship Steve Mantle's truck. It's not his anymore, of course. Russell gets it on the gas, making a nice job of getting up the hill there. The crew, that's John Priddle, he's Jordan Priddle, he's suggesting they should go down the hill. And Russell said that'll be the day. This is far enough for us. Then Craig and Bill Lacey giving it what for in the Toyota V6. Yeah, up the hill, but that's as far as they're going to go. Now we've got the Papakura Mufflers recovery truck doing a huge effort there, creating more smoke and dust than all the competitors put together. Yeah, that's a heavy truck to haul out of there, isn't it? They'll get the job done, of course, as they always do. Here we've got Peter Freeman from the Hawke's Bay, giving it what for in the 3.9 Rover powered special. Yeah, up the top of the hill all right, but I don't know if he got far enough over that peg. Oh, hey, this is how you do it. Look at that. Oh, mate. Wheels in the air and just couldn't keep it in the course to attempt the last section. So that was an awesome attempt up the hill, down the hill. So now going to travel with Martin and Phillip, and we're going to sit in the car. Let's see how they get on. Up the hill's going all right. No problems there. Phillip gives a good hard pull on the left-hand brake and they point it down the hill. Here we go. Whoops! Standing on the front end, drive it away and keep it in the course. Can he do it? Yes! Yes! He's hit the gas and he's spun it round and kept it inside the yellow peg, and he's still got it on the gas as he's heading for the sky. Oh, wow! Little hesitation as she hips over the big steps, and out through the blue pegs they go. Let's see it again. Steady approach. Some of the bumps have been knocked off by the previous cars, which makes the climb a little bit easier. Still pretty steep though, and then you've got to have the courage to turn it round at the top and send it straight down over those humongous steps. We've seen lots of rollovers here today. On the gas, keep it inside the course. That's a nasty little turn in the course down at the bottom there, and then up the hill we go again. Now we're starting to get some bounce and we're looking at the sky, and we come up over the top and out through the blue pegs. Well, you got a big round of applause for that, and well he might. That was a great effort. Track 16, this is the long bog of the day, and it's the beginning of the afternoon session, and first up is Stu and Jessica McMillan in the big 350 Chevy powered FJ40. Lots of power, but unfortunately a bit heavy in the front end, the old FJ40, for this sort of carry-on, so they grind to a halt there.
Hey, Bush, you can mark them up. Okay, if you're here, when they stop forward motion, arm up, stop, okay?
He just makes sure they understand not to keep digging holes, because that's what the problem can be in a long bog. And here goes Simon Donovan and Adele. Giving it what for, mate? They've got that going really, really well. That's a 3.8 V6 Commodore doing its stuff in there, and they've kept it cranking, still cranking. The LPG fuel button in the back there. Yeah, that's the poor man's fuel injection, but works really well in these trucks, to tell you about that. Yeah, well done. And here goes Simon one more time. Look at that rooster tail. Mate, it's fair hauling ass as it gets up there through the long bog. Fantastic stuff. Great ride for Adele. Probably getting a bit of mud, bit of a mud pack there, which she didn't really need. She's a nice looking lady without that. Yeah, great effort. Then we've got Nathan and Graham. That's Nathan Cogden from the Blair Plenty in the little Zook Sports Special. He's giving it what for, but there's just not enough power to keep that on the top. Wow, no shortage of power in the 3.9 litre Rover powered special of Peter Freeman's. He's got the pedal to the metal. Yeah, he's still cranking it up there, staying on top. Nice and light, of course, that's the key here. Look at that. And almost out through the blue pegs. Oh, how close was that to ultimate success? Now you can see he's getting plenty of advice there from Jeremy Poynton, saying, hey, there's the blue pegs over there, mate. Pete said, like how we keep over this side of the course, we keep it on top. Now we'll hook it around and out through the blue pegs, but not quite. Warren Dave, a man they all learn to respect. Top class competitor in a great truck. He fair fires it in there, but he's found himself a bit of a soft spot. He's in trouble. Yeah, all the way from Mount Eggbog with Michael Dunksty in the crew seat. Track number 17, after you're completely covered in mud from 16, you've got to get it up on the slippery bits, and this is an S-shaped course with a bit of bog and a little bit of slippery hill, and the guy's just evaluating where they should or shouldn't be driving, which is a key part of the exercise, of course. You've got to be get it right on the nail to stay in the course and keep moving. So now we're looking at advanced bracing with Ashley on the brakes there. You see him working the brakes as they get lots of gas down in the Honda V6 powered special. No problem there, they hook it around and up over the next little slippery bit. Yeah, it's a bit lumpy there. Now they've got another bog to get through. Here we go. Try and just get it right, and then hard on the right hand brakes and get it up the hill. Get it up the hill. Come on, Lance. No, it's not going to happen for Lance, and there's no shortage of pedal to the metal there, but the course is very slippery up there, especially after you come out of the big bog with everything covered in muck. So, talking about covered in muck, yeah, well, That's the name of the game round here. We play in the mud and we get a bit of honours now and then. And we've got Warren Day. He's got round the first part of the course without a problem. Well-respected competitor from Mount Egmont as he gives it what for, hard on the brakes, and just smoothly comes straight up that hill that no one else could climb. You watch this again. See, he's on the front brakes there. Yeah, I think it's the front. Yes, it is the front brakes. You can see him lock up that right-hand wheel as he hooks it around there and up over the bank. Safety through the blue pegs for a big fat 0. Track number 18 is a quite unique track. It's a point-to-point time section. The flag is dropped on Kane Newman from Mount Egmont. And the V6 Chevy powered special. He's on his way up the hill. He's got to keep back inside the pegs every time he goes outside the pegs, and it's all over for them. And here we've got Ray Racing from Manukau in the E-Class Suzuki. He's making a cakewalk of this, nice and steady up the hill, round out of sight, and he's through the blue pegs. And here we go, we've got the Southern Brood special of Wayne and Amy Nicole, all the way from Christchurch. Beautiful truck, this one. As they take it real easy. Hey, they're against the clock. They need to get on the case, but they've got to make sure you don't knock the pegs down. So they've done a good job, and they're round the corner and out through the blue pegs. Track 19 now is steep down the hill, round the bottom corner to the left and up the other side as far as you can get. Nathan and Graham are on their journey now from the Bay of Plenty. This is the 413 Suzuki, of course. Still running a 1600 Suzuki, so that's pretty unusual for a Suzuki these days. Very, very gently down the hill. Over the steps, you've got to keep holding it back so that you can get around the corner without blowing yourself out of the course. There we go. Get on the gas, Nathan. Yep, he's up the hill and he's working the steering. Oh, big bounce, and that's the end of that. Now, of course, we've got Ray and Karen Morrison from the South Waikato, and the 350 Chevy powered cruiser as they can't hold all that weight back as they get down the hill. Yeah, slipping and sliding all the way down, but they've kept it together. Yellow peg on the left, get on that left-hand brake, and round it comes. Karen doing a great job on the brakes there and pointing it up the hill now. He's going to take this nice and easy because if the big cruiser bounces, that's the end of that, eh? So here he goes, up and up, yep. One wheel, then the other, losing its grip there. So that's all as far as they're going to go. Now we've got one of the kings of the hill. We've got Warren Day from Mount Egmont. Nissan 2-litre turbocharged special. No problem holding it back, just on those left-hand brakes as we get around the bottom corner. And light up the hill, give it some gas because that's how we get up the hill. And man, that's exactly what they did. What a great job. Yeah, indeed, why not spin it up as we head out through the blue pegs. Good cause for celebration. Track number 20, and first on the line we've got Steve Elliott with Dean Foster in the crew seat and the Mitsubishi Pajero. They're from Counties, and they're working their way carefully down there. Some pretty nasty steps to get down over there. As you can see, they're working the brakes carefully. And then they've got to try and hook it up around the corner. Well, mate, that didn't even start to happen. Far too slow on the brakes. Let's see if Lance Brasting can do any better. Here he comes, the man from Wanganui. He's got Ashley working the brakes. They get down over the rough stuff for a start. That's okay. A very light little truck this with the 2.7 litre V6 Honda. Goes like anything. Yep, they're looking at each other and a lot of chat going on there. Lifting wheels as they come up over the big humps. And can they make it right through? Here we go. This is the tough bit. This is loose and it's lumpy. But he's beautifully through the blue pegs. What a neat bit of driving there from Lance. Here we go, right into track 22, which has got to be a serious sliding challenge, but Wayne and Amy Nicole just make mincemeat of that climb. No problem at all as they treat it like a wall of death, and that's probably the best way to do this today. And right up and around the blue pegs, out through the blue pegs they go. And let's see how we get on with Neil Turner from Whangarei. He's got it up round the top all right. You've got to keep it moving. Once you're around the top, it's a bit of a walk back down the hill through the blue pegs, which he's doing without a problem. And next up we've got Shannon Wellman and James Harmon there from the Thames Valley in the Jimny Special. And this is a standard Jimny 1300. Has it got enough power to get up the hill and round the peg? No. Took out the peg, eh? What a shame. He was working those brakes. There he was. But here comes Steve Goodell with Pete Brown at the brakes. No problem. Pete just makes sure they're clearing the pegs as they head up through the wall of death area. And they've got enough speed. That's really good to slip it around. Keep clear of that red peg. Bit of a hop and a bounce, but they've got it under control as they're working their way back down to the blue peg. So no problems there for the Active 4x4 sponsored Suzuki Special. And here comes Hamish Oret from the Wanganui Club. He's got the absolutely magnificent looking special. Look at that. Looks like a spider as it's got itself cocked up in the air. He's getting around the red pegs. He's sitting the right way up. The chassis is all on the slope. I'm not sure how they can handle that thing, but they've got it as they head down the track now, safely through the blue pegs. Just look at that one more time and you have a look at those big struts stretched to the limit so that Hamish and James are sitting up nice and flat while the truck handles the slope. Slipping and sliding a bit there. It's pretty hard to hold it up there. He's only run 31-inch tyres, which is pretty unusual. Well, here we go on track number 24, which is, of course, a big mud bog. It's nice and wide, and you've got to try and pick the best route through this one. And we've got Simon and Donovan with Adele in the crew seat. Winding it up, and in they go. Giving it all they can. Didn't get too far in that one, just didn't quite keep the revs up enough as they headed into it. We've got Scott Ryan and Cherie from Mount Egmont. Egg's got his pedal down to the metal, but all too late.
You come out and get covered in mud like this. Get on the next one. Woo!
And Murray Kitt, of course. Murray's the ex-president of the North Shore 4-wheel drive club. He's got it all spinning, but not going forward.
Should have made it though, that was the thing. I should have made it. But never mind, it's all good fun.
Yeah, Murray's always a character, always has been. And look at this, mate. Keep it up on the tops to go. Just off to the right-hand side there and stop just before the red peg. And here we've got a V8 powered Land Rover, mate. We don't see too many of these anymore. But Mike Fitzgerald and Jeremy giving it what for, all to no avail. Here's the man we all like to see, and he's doing a great job here. That's Martin and Philip Walton. Clean through the bog, straight over the top. That's all about power to weight ratio, isn't it? Absolutely awesome. Neil Turner from Whangarei again, the 89 car. Running D-Class with the 8-cylinder engine. Mate, still not enough power to get that across the top of the bog. A look of apprehension there on the crew's face, and why not? Ray and Karen, South Waikato team in the 350 Chevy Power. Woo! Lots of steam. Yeah, what can you do about that, says Karen. Well, not a lot. But the crowd really loved it because that was a great effort. Yeah, look at that. How would you like to get in there and have a swim? Here goes Steve Goodell with the Papakura Mufflers and Active 4x4 Celica powered Suzuki. Still not enough grunt and go. Ash and Heather Major, they love dirty weekends, and this has got to be tailor-made for Heather. No, far too heavy. Paul Simmons, come on Paul, give it what for? All the way from the Hawke's Bay. He's still trying the right-hand side of the course, and they've just shown that that's really hard. It's so soft in there. And on the end of the rope he goes. And here we go with another run at it, and we can keep it on top. No, we can't. No, we can't. Look of despondency from the crew there. And here comes Nathan Fogden with Graham in the crew seat. Never mind about the brakes, just hang on to the handle and wave like anything. Yeah, all the rigging in the world's not going to get you out of there. And here we go in the little E-Class Mitsubishi Pajero Junior. Plenty of revs here, but has it got enough sheer grunt? No. Well hooked in the bog. And here we go, another great attempt. He's got it on top so far. It's still coming forward. Look at that. Is he going to make it? Whoa! Right over to the far side of the bog, up against the bank, and that was as far as he can go. Warwick Delberg. Whoa! Hey, we didn't even get a chance to talk about him. He was so neat and quick through there, right up through the blue pegs. Let's just have another look at that. Now watch how he keeps it on top all the way. You can't afford to let yourself get bogged. Well, it is a bog, and that's what happens. But not to worry. Barry's hanging on like anything in the crew seat, and in the air as he comes out in the PDL Electrical Holden V6 powered special. Well, that's running a clutchless manual Holden Turbo 700 gearbox. All the fruit, eh?
Awesome. Thanks.
And track 25 has got a very nasty slippery ditch and hill climb to get over the other side and continue along the siding and out through the blue pegs, hopefully. Dave and Jenny Hintz from Wanganui first on the journey, and they get through the first bit all right. Yeah, Tui must be working for them today as they keep it on the side there nicely. Yeah, they've gotten up there still. Well done. Absolutely awesome. The F-Class Land Rover. What a great job. Bit of a bounce out the top. They're safely through the pegs. Here comes Bruce McGregor with Tony Troy from Bay of Plenty. Boom! Ha! What can you say about that? I think we should have a look at that. Here we go. And of course what we've got here is we're just hitting it a bit too square. Right on the gas and straight into the wall. Not going anywhere. Well, pretty tough with that chassis sticking out the front. No question about that. And of course showing you how to do it, one of the old masters of the game, Theo Spanbrook, with Alan Gibbonson in the crew seat working the brakes. He shows you just how to do that. Quite comfortable, no problem at all to Theo. And let's see how Paul and Trevor Williams from Wanganui can do this one. Safely through the first section, hard on the brakes, see the back slide up the hill. You try that in the old Toyota Corolla at home. Here we go, working our way up the sliding, on the right hand brake, yep, on the gas. Get it out through those blue pegs. No problems there. Just watch this again. This is a really special piece of gear, this truck. Looks like the refrigerator on the back end, but that's just keeping the mud out of the radiator, of course. And watch that back go up the hill. Man, isn't that amazing stuff? Then they can walk it across nice and easy, just as they please. Here we go. Martin Loose Goose. With Phil at the wheel, Phil at the brakes, sorry, and no problem at all. They just hold it up there quite nicely as they slide up through the course. And let's see how we get on with Ray and Karen Morris. One more go, South Waikato. Great club, lovely people, and they hook the tail round. Up the bank goes the FJ40 with the big 350 Chevy. It's raining on LPG and up the hill through the blue pegs. Now these two said they love a dirty weekend, and I'm sure they've got their fair fill of mud. Look at that smile today. So here we go, the 350 Chevy power. Woo, nice boogie. They managed to keep it in the course and knock down, did they knock down the rear peg? Can't see from here. Boy, that must have been close. Warren Day, another one of the masters of the sport in the C-Class Special with the Nissan 2-litre turbocharged special. Here we go. Nose in, steady up. Piece of cake really when you got the right gear and the knowledge to pedal it. Up through the sidling, missed the red peg, only just, and out through the blues at the top of the hill. Now just show you again how this can be done. In the crew seat, chase rudder. The pedal to the metal there as we get it through the ditch and up the other side. Keep it on its side. This is pretty awkward around here because it's really slippery. Wheels in the air, hooking it round and out through the blue pegs. Track number 26 is an S-shaped hazard with a reasonably simple bit at the beginning, but then we get into some real nasties. We've got to straddle the gully. Steve Thompson with John at the brakes work their way into the first part of the hazard in the Mitsubishi Pajero Junior, and up onto the slopes they go, but no way, not enough traction or ability to straddle to keep that going. So let's see how Mike Fitzgerald gets on in the V8 Land Rover from Marston. Well, mate, not enough articulation to get up through the first part of the hazard. Murray Kitt, of course, he's got into the first part all right, but fell into the same hole that we saw earlier. And that was the end of that. Come on, Norm, give it some stick. And he's doing just that. Collins hanging on to the brakes, but it's not going to work, not going to go any further than that. Here we go, Southern Brood, Wayne and Nicole and Amy at the brakes. Smoothly through the first bit, but oh, they misjudged that badly and she just come to a grinding halt. And here's one we don't know, but hey, we just have a bit of trouble making out some because the colour of the car is the same as the mud, but we thought you'd like to see that. Hey, yeah, time for an underbody inspection. Sitting it right up on one wheel and then very craftily backing out of it. Well, I would too if I was him. He keeps it the right way up. Well done there, and here comes Reuben Mason. Pedal to the metal as he works his way up into the deep bit. Bang! Oh, are they going to give him that mark? He only just got his wheel to the red peg. Here comes Andrew Graham and Dave Barnett and the home build special with the Lexus V8. Will the power help them get up out of this one though? We'll see. No, he's hooked it. He's managed to get it going again. And a big leap and a drop, and it's all over for that one. Tough on Andrew. Here's another Susie special. Giving it its best shot. Easy enough through the first bit. Drops into the gully on the right-hand side, and whoo! Just got it back on its wheels as he tries to head up through the gully. Hey, there's a good wheel stand for you. Mate, you'd like to do that on a motorbike, not on a four-wheel drive. Now we'll ride the chase rotor from the crew seat. Here we go. Up through the first part of the gully, and we've got to drop back on our side now. Here we go, just looking at the ground, and we've got to get it kicked over the other way. Yes, he does that all right. He's still working away at it, and all you can see is the sky. How on earth can you see where you should be driving? Oops, the sky's a bit of a lean now. Yes, it is on a bit of a lean, all right, and that's the end of that. Now we've got Dave Toohey. And Dave in the Subaru Powered Specials giving it absolutely what for. The marshal led him away with that. And up a huge leap in the air. The red peg fires clean out the back. Dave keeps it on his wheels. Have another look at this. Driving over the bush. Big leaps and bounds in the air. Yes, the marshal's doing his best to keep up with the action there as Dave leaps it up into the air. Flattens the peg and fortunately doesn't break the truck. Here comes Theo Spanbrook. Theo's from South Waikato, as we said before, and one of the masters of the game. You see the hydraulic steering on the front of Theo's truck. Straight over the bush, right on the gas, up in the air, and hey, he's made it! He's the first one to clear that. What a wonderful drive. Like I said, we know he's the master. How on earth do you control all of that and that sort of an attitude? You're never quite sure which way it's going to leap next. There he goes, out through the blue pegs for a lovely big 0 on the scorecard.
Thanks very much. That felt awesome. Yeah, not the tidiest, but it felt good.
Mate, not a lot to say really. You'd be getting your breath back, wouldn't you? And Derek and Smythe and Paul Chapman from Wanganui. Cantilever suspension works absolutely fantastically well on this machine. Look at that, they hook it up through there and just made it look like a Sunday drive. How can you possibly do that? Well, Brendan James is going to have a go. He saw them make the track. Hey, they've found a way out of this one. Can you believe this? This has made it so tough for so many top competitors. And suddenly, someone finds a track, and of course it was the master Theo. And guess what? Brendan was Theo's crew in the last few years, so he's following the master and he knows exactly what to do about that. Phil Collins from Valley 4-Wheel Drive. Beautifully built, brand new truck for this year. He's working his way straight up the same track and out through the blue pegs. That's the one with the 2-litre turbo intercooled Toyota motor. And here comes Martin Walton. Once that track's been set, Martin sees you do it, that's the end of that. He's going to score a big
Bounced
0.
a bit higher than I thought it would. Not too bad, well, at least we got up it, so that's the main thing.
Track number 27, it's a tight little course and steep climb up, followed by a very sharp right hook at the top. Back down and then round the tree if you can. There we go. We've got Wayne and Amy Nicole from the good old city of Christchurch. It's the Garden City they call it. No problems getting up the first climb, and they ease it gently down over the steep bit here, because you've got to try and hook it around the tree and get back up again without knocking the pegs over, and this is not easy. It's not easy. As you can see that, they knock the red peg down. You can touch them, but if the head touches the ground, you're out of the contest. Here we've got Ray racing, and Ray's working his way up the hill there in the E-Class Suzuki. No problems. Gets round the top, and he's very carefully down around the tree. Can he make it? No. He's flattened the peg as well. You can see the marshal waving his arms there to tell Ray that it's all over. Steve Thompson from the Egmont 4-Wheel Drive Club. This looks really cool, this truck. It sits nice and low to the ground, doesn't it? That's the E-Class Mitzi Junior. But no chance of getting around the left-hander there. Just too tight for him. Phil Cameron from South Waikato in the Jeep. She looks a pretty long truck, so I don't know how Phil's going to get on when he gets down here. Certainly the competitors seem to be able to get up the steep steps. It's pretty amazing, because it's hard work even walking up those steps. There he goes. He turned the wheel early enough, but the vehicle just slid off, eh? Suspension not compliant enough to allow the wheels to stay on the ground nicely, so he's out of the course. Theo Spanbrook, here we go again. Let's see if our master can do it. No! Oh! He did get past the peg, but no, he slotted the next one, so that's the end of that. Craig Lacey, another man from the BOP. He's Bay of Plenty, of course, and in the Kiwi language. But he didn't get too far out there. But Craig Lacey's doing a better job until he ran over the peg again. Mate, it's hard going, isn't it? So here goes Paul Taylor from the Eastern Bay of Plenty. Can he do better? Hard hook round the top. No, he didn't. So we're going to have to see how Andrew Graham gets on. This is a brand new truck this year, and Andrew's pretty confident he'll take on anybody and everybody. So he gets around the top all right, so that's pretty cool. Gently over the steps. Very gently. Got to keep it going slow. You can't do this quick. Gets those wheels on the ground, and it's coming around beautifully. And he's on his way. He's up over the steps at the top with a leap and a bound, and he's through the blue pegs. Well done, Andrew. Goes Martin and Phillip, cocking a wheel in the air. I thought only dogs did that, but never mind. Here we go. He's back on the gas, and he's got it turning, but it's stopped. That's it. You can't stop forward motion. You're out of this game when it stops going forward. Now we're going to look through the eyes of Chase Rodder. That's the Jeep in the cruise seat. Up around the top, that's all right. Now you're pointing straight down over the edge. They're pretty nasty sets, but the trouble is trying to keep it slow when you come over those steps. It just starts to slide away. And of course, that's exactly what we had in mind when the course was set. Oh no, we're upside down, and we're back on our wheels again. Wow. Track 28, of course, is another timed section. It's hard to know where they come from when they got that much mud on them, eh? But never mind, they're off around the first part of the course, which has got to be a little bit careful as you come around to the right there. And then they head off up through the easy pit, heading towards the humps at the top there. We put them up onto a mini wall of death. There they go. So you've just got to keep it under control. He does his best there and comes into the blue pegs for a nice tidy stop. Well, Paul Taylor, I don't know if he's going to be tidy or not, but he's certainly doing his best as he cranks it up and he heads towards the wall of death at the top of the course there. Just one lap of the course. The scoring for this one is in seconds. So the score achieved will be the number of seconds taken for one circuit of the course. And if you do happen to knock any pegs down, well, that costs you 20 points for a peg. So you find the guys are pretty careful not to knock the pegs down. And that's exactly what's happening here, where we've got Nathan Fogden with Graham Patton at the brakes. They're just being pretty careful. Whoa, bit of smoke there as a little bit of oil surge coming up around the top of the engine over the bumps. And talking about bumps, there we go with Ash and Heather. They're doing a bit of a bump there too as they get going. The big Chev-powered cruiser, of course, loves the open ground. They can really get the foot down and give it a bit of a squirt. Still got to be careful up around the bumps though, because the weight of the cruiser makes it a bit hard to keep under control. But there we go, pretty tidy run. And now we're looking at the master. We've got Warren Dave, and he's just hooking it around there nicely as he heads on up towards the top of the course. No problem at all, beautiful suspension, working just easily, and up around the little wall of death, down over the bumps and into the blue pegs for a nice little time there, I would imagine. Track number 29 is a sidling. It's not too bad in the beginning, but it gets really steep further round, which can be a little bit hard to visualise unless you're in the truck. But we'll just watch this as we've got Brendan James from the Waikato. He's working his way around there. Scott's hanging onto the left-hand brake, but it's a bit dodgy. No, he just couldn't hook it around. It's pretty hard. You're not allowed to knock that peg down. When the peg goes down, that's the end of your turn at the hazard. Let's see how Derek Smythe goes from Wanganui. Absolutely fantastic cantilever suspension set up on the Autocraft ARB sponsored vehicle in Palmerston North, the Rover V8. He hooks it and he hooks it, but she's slipping and sliding and bouncing. Did he clear the pegs? No, the marshal's pointing to the red peg with a bit of a grim look on his face. Now this is how you do it in a bog standard Suzuki Vitara. Hey mate, you're not supposed to run over the yellow pegs. And here we have Steve Thompson again in the Mitsubishi Pajero, the Junior. We've seen it a bit today, but it does a great job with the standard 1100cc engine with a supercharger on it, but he can't quite keep it in the course there.
Yeah, that was pretty good. That was the plan, and the strategy worked, so it's good. Yeah, try and hook through the 20, and we just got the wheel through, so really pleased with that.
Then we've got Ray Racing. Ray's from Manukau, and he's got Glenn on the brakes. Yeah, I've got a bit of an apprehensive look on his face as Glenn, as he's just figuring out how much to pull the brake and when, because he's got to help Ray get it round the corner. And hey, could you believe that? They made that look so easy in an E-Class truck. Track number 31 is a bit of a bog to get through in the beginning, and you've got to get that right before you then get on to the rest part of the course. And Wayne and Amy show you just how to do that as they head up round the left-hander, got back through the gully again. Oh, nice big water splash there, and they're struggling, it's all over for them. Here comes Wayne Newman from Mount Egmont, but he just puffs it straight into the bank on the other side. Nathan Fogden, come on Graham, pull the brakes. He said, I did, that's why we stopped. Wow, what can you say about that? As Steve Liddell lines it up, and come on Pete, see if we can do this better. Yeah, almost, but round the nose comes, and that comes to an untimely stop. Neil Turner from Whangarei, he gets out of the muck. Can we keep it up on the hill and get round the course? Yes. So round the left-hander, down into the gully again we go, very gently.
Not too badly actually, a lot of fun. Better luck next time, if there is a next time.
Couldn't say much more than that, could you? Let's see how Paul Simmons does from the Hawke's Bay. Come on Paul, give it what for? Well, he did, but it didn't pull him out of the bog, did it? How about the little chimney? Let's see if Shannon can get it up this time. No. James is disgusted, but never mind. Here comes Ray Morris. He shows him how to do it. Oh, mate. He's just got on the gas so hard, but she just come to a stop on that greasy ground, but he's not given up yet. Now, I'm sure the marshals have told him that he's out, but he's still trying to get himself out of there somehow. Come on, give the brakes a pull. Let's tip back into the bog. Oh, no, hey, where you going? Hey, Karen. Karen hasn't got a clue where he's going. But never mind, he's out and he's right, and he's just come back up. Well, he's trying to get back up so that the marshal can give him a score. What sort of an act was that? Good fun for everybody.
It's the last.
That's what happens when you have your wife navigating. What happened? You tell me.
I'm not allowed to touch the brakes.
Got it all on camera. It's all good. We get to drive back on the trailer.
He's off. Here comes Stu and Jessica from the South Waikato. Well, that was a pretty short run. Pretty hard to get the big FJ through that sort of muck. Same for Heather and Ash. Yeah, they gave it everything, but let's see what we can do now with Hamish and the neat little... What? Hey, Hamish! He needed an arrow to point down into the course there. He tried to sneak round the side, but it all went wrong real quick. Yeah, and the bog claims yet one more. Here we go, let's ride along with Chase Rodder and see how it looks from inside the car. Can we get it up and out the other side? Oh yes. We've got the gear to get the job done here. Down into the second part of the gully. Looks pretty ugly when you're sitting behind the wheel, doesn't it? But even Chase can't get it out of there. So it's all over for Chase Rodder. Yes, Chase, it's all over. You can stop now.